So the invitation now is to connect together with the breath. I invite you to be comfortable. Certainly don't be in an uncomfortable position because your mind tells you that that's how you should be to receive this. Be comfortable and relaxed. And let us together let go. Let us relax our attention and our attachments to what's happening in the world, in our lives, in the moments before this call, the hours, the days, the weeks, the months, the years even. Let us come to this moment with the intention to empty ourselves, to become free. And breathe deeply. Let the breath become a carrier of the vibration of peace and love into our bodies. Let the breath become the bringer of light into these systems of experience and thought, belief, concept. Let the breath bring truth deeply into the being. And let us all be willing to receive more deeply the light and the truth of our soul. Let us have a prayer to become congruent, whole, for every aspect of consciousness that we have scattered throughout creation to become centered into the now. As we allow in this moment to fill with the love, the peace, the light, and the clarity of Christ. I'm going to breathe for a few minutes, and the next voice that you hear will be coming from, inspired by Yeshua, Mary, Jermaine. And many others. Now we begin. And indeed, greetings, beloved and most precious friend. And indeed, greetings, one and all who would lend their energy, their light, their love, their presence, and their attention to this moment. For indeed, what greater gift have you to bring than the gift of your presence, focused through attention into this very moment, that you can open to allow through this simple movement of consciousness to bless what is. To bring your attention into the moment. To enfold in the simplicity of being the moment that is now. Free from judgment. Free even from perception. Simply being in innocent presence. Would you join us in focusing yourself as consciousness into this moment ever more deeply, to join in communion, not only with us or yourself or this group or these words, but to attune through focused presence now to all that is. And to allow the extension of love that is the heart of your being to bless, to enfold and embrace that which is playing out in the field of space and time. To bless is not to come into agreement with, or to take a side, or to condone one behavior above that of another. For all of those activities of mind and energy are preconceived by judgment. No, to bless is simply to enfold in the embrace of love. Let us take this a moment to focus the attention of beingness, of consciousness into this moment to bless what is. And blessing is not the extension of self, it is the allowance of the Father's love and light to reach out through the emptiness of yourself to enfold the world. The blessing does not come from you. You merely make the space for it by focusing the attention of your consciousness, bringing your presence in openness and allowance. When you cease to allow, you deny the flow of our Father's grace through you. When you decide in your mind that you know what's right and what's needed and what's wrong and what's needed, then the flow of grace cannot move through you. For you deny it for yourself. You deny the receptivity of love into your beingness through the decision that you know what something is, what anything is. And within that belief within the mind that it must know, it needs to know in order to secure itself, in order to control the outcome of the next moment. Within this construct of mind, this patterning, this system that has been imprinted, implanted, branded into the soul. Within this is the denial of truth and the birth of reactivity or recoil, of contraction. There is much in the world and much within the depth of mind. And please recognize when we use this term mind in this context, we talk about the mind that we all share. The mind of creation, within which the mind in separation, the one mind in separation, we appreciate the The paradox of such a statement, and yet that is where you find yourself. This one mind holds such darkness, such deep vortices of fear and contraction, that there is much requirement for the grace of God and love to pour forth through the hearts of millions of beings into this realm. But the heart must become purified, must become free from the constructs in mind that say, I need to know, but this is wrong, and I must react in this way. There may well be energies here that require transformation, but you will never transform these frequencies in mind by judging, labeling, and opposing. They can be changed by allowing, embracing, and correcting. By choosing for something new, something filled with grace and beauty, something inspired, congruent through the entirety of mind and creation and being, and expressed through the emptiness of being, through the love that is the effortless center of your soul. There is a place for anger. There is a place for rage. There is a place for the power of a voice that stands against the tide of the habitual mind and says no more to this. But the true strength of that movement of energy can only come as a response, can only come from one whose heart is purified of the idea and notion that they know what something is and needs. This movement of grace will come through the purified channel of you as you open more and more to allow all frequencies of energy to simply be. So the power of grace will move you more and more forcefully in response to what is. This is no small task. To become one who is so pure, to become one who is so free of these ideas in mind, that they know what is right from wrong. But listen well. Beloved friends, there is a plan unfolding upon the planet of this earth. There is a magnificent orchestration that is so far beyond the comprehension of any individual being, ourselves included. There is a conductor who knows every note in every mind of everyone, of every soul, who knows precisely, exactly the frequency of light or darkness to enter into the experiential plane of that one, to nudge them slowly, incrementally, into the place where they can begin to open to receive the next phase of their own evolution as being, as soul. And within that movement, or within that movement of every individual, and we mean every single individual soul on this planet and beyond, in all creation, every flavor of life expressing as an individual is known intimately by God, by Abba, by this great beingness, this extraordinary intelligence that is so far beyond our comprehension as to render itself mystery, perfect, pure, essential, absolute mystery. Each and every being is connected into, through, and as that source of a beingness, and within each thread of connection that is unbroken and pure and unbreakable is this exquisite intelligence guiding. It may look that there is collectively chaos or mayhem, but within each movement of collective struggle or dynamism, difficulty, challenge, there are an ocean of individuals, each one creating unique perspectives, bringing about within themselves new patterns of thought, new potentialities, new possibilities of seeing, of perceiving, of being. And this is true for you as well as us. But the Father does not discriminate. He loves each and every one fully and in great detail and intimacy. He knows you just as he knows each and every one of your brothers and your sisters. And he is moving and orchestrating in a way that is very difficult to convey and understand. It is very difficult for the mind in any form of limitation to grasp the magnitude of this movement of vast intelligence throughout all creation. This life force, this light, Nishem, Shemaiah, moving through everything, informing, directing, orchestrating. So, beloved friends, when you look out upon a world in chaos and turmoil, recognize that it is that way by plan and design. that it is being orchestrated in this way to bring about the exact experiences that on an individual level result in the awakening of the individual, and collectively as more and more individuals open to become the channel of light into the world. So the great shift, the great turning of the tide, the great movement out of separation, the great expansion beyond the density of your 3D reality, to embrace the next dimensional planes within the sphere of your experience whilst residing in a physical form on Earth, is inevitable, is happening, will come to pass. For it is willed and ordained by the great cosmic bringer of life and experience, because it has been set in motion before the beginning of time, because there have been the exact number of evolutions and revolutions of the cycles of the cosmic clock to bring you and us to this moment here and now, where we convey these things unto you, where you receive into the heart of your heart, where you know through the power of your desire what it is that you want to experience in this world. And so we say unto you, when you look upon the world, do not see something that is in need of change. Rather, see something that is indeed in the process of changing, because the Father has decreed that it shall be so now. And he is about his business, and he calls upon you to join with him in his plan, to cease the resistance to it by the judgment of what you see, to open yourself in the knowing and the trust that he has got this, that she, great almighty presence of love, that God, Goddess is the driving force of energy that is moving through everything right now, has always been and will continue to be so. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing requires your judgment in order to create transformation and change. That is happening, and the invitation is there for you now to join with it, to bring the presence of your consciousness into this moment, to bless what is through opening in allowance, through daring to trust that what is occurring is precisely what needs to occur in order to get this collective experience of being on planet Earth from where it is to where it desires to be, from where you desire it to be, which is the transformation from fear-based reality to love-based reality. This is happening. You will not be a part of the change if you look upon the world from fear. You will not join with the Father's love from the wave of transformation that is moving now, and the many, many more waves of transformation that will continue to break upon the shore of this world over the years and years to come. If you root yourself now in the decision to fear and judge what is occurring in the world. This does not mean that you will not be called to say no to fear, to stand against the tide as it would wash back against the waves of God, and proclaim that the world must remain as it is. For we are too fearful to change this system, this machine, this mechanism that we have made God in our minds. This does not mean that you will not respond in anger. What it means is that anger will be birthed from the congruent position of yourself, rooted in love, aligned with the Father's plan, in perfect trust that all that is happening is in place, is the perfect expression of Christ, of joy, of love, of peace, even now. And that your movement of energy into the world, be that in anger or rage, your response, be that in joy and love, to embrace, to enfold, to say no, will be rooted, inspired by that certainty, that absolute knowing and trust. That within the great collective movement and dynamic of creation that is happening, each and every individual is already there with God, being worked upon, being challenged, being moved and directed and nudged and guided. Whether they know it or not, it is irrelevant. The movement of energy through this world is God. And God is transforming this planet even now. And the only question is, will you join with this flow of energy, this wave of light as it comes in? Will you trust in God? Will you allow yourself to love? Or will you choose to indulge your fear? Will you choose to remain attached to an ancient pattern of thinking in the depth of your mind that says, I need to know and control this because I am afraid? And I have learnt to judge my fear, and thus I shall push it aside and away and hope that it will disappear. Or will you breathe into this moment and promise yourself, commit to yourself that you will allow the fear within you to be, and to be met within you in the emptiness of your own self, to receive what you have once denied, to receive the creations of your past buried in the unconscious of your mind, Well, make no mistake, it is the collective unconscious that you see unfolding upon your planet as the Father flushes all up from the basement of humanity so that it can be seen. And yes, there will be the process of denial and rejection, and this will continue. That you have the choice. You have the power of the wisdom of the knowledge that you have received from the depth of your soul. You know that you can open. You can receive this. You can allow this. You can be that one who bears the presence of love onto the moment, who embraces and allows the flow of Abba to move through you. So that you become her servant. Open to what is wanting to move through you. It will happen anyway. Whatever you align yourself with, the light of the Father's love sweeping through the basement of the collective unconscious on this planet will bring everything to the surface for healing and light, and it will happen. The transformation is already occurring. You can embrace it, or you can deny. That is your free will. But we will say this: as the energy of the Father's love builds in its momentum and its clarity and its vibration upon this planet, the resistance towards it will become more and more uncomfortable in your being. And the only door there is in mind to align is to allow. There is no other way. Although it may be dressed in other words by other beings, in other pathways, it amounts to the same thing. It is the opening of the self to allow the flow of all frequencies of energy to move through you unobstructed. To become wholly and completely disidentified with any of those frequencies of energy, to be the container, the pure channel, not just for light, but for the dark as well, so that it may flow freely through you and through the alchemy of the love in the depth of your soul, it will be transformed. For the love that is in the depth of your soul is the God that you are, that we are, that all is. So, beloved friends, do not lament the state of the world. By doing so, by judging, by aligning yourself with fear, you miss the opportunity to join with the Father's plan. You miss the opportunity to join in the exquisite orchestration of transformation that is happening right before your eyes, within the very cells and the structures of your own body, within the environments within which you live, within the towns and the cities, within the countryside, within the nations and the countries. Transformation is happening. The Father is at work and calls you forth now to join with him in the presence of the heart that we share. To be that one that allows the blessing of Christ to permeate through the form into the density of the world, until every being in existence on planet Earth knows the truth of themselves. And if there are those beings upon the plane of this creation who are yet adamant that they are not finished playing within the dream of separation, then they can find their way to another plane, another place, where they can play to their heart's content until it is time for them to awaken to the truth and the reality of themselves as God and love and truth, in the power and grace and humility and wisdom of her divine presence within each and every one. And so we will leave you now with this simple prayer. In the name of Christ, in the name of peace and love, in the name of joy and transformation, in the name of light and truth and soul, in the name of Abba and Amma, in the name of Shem, in the name of all that is good and holy and beautiful, I bless this world. And I join with you, our Father. I join with you now. I choose to see your hand at work in all things as it is. I choose to relinquish from the depth of this being, this soul, this mind I am, and have mistaken myself to be all need to know. As I relinquish this pattern, I open myself to your wisdom and knowing, my Father, that is so far beyond mine own that I cannot even imagine the scope of your knowing. And I ask you to inform me in every moment. And I commit to myself that I will return to this moment and this mind and this idea, even after I have wavered and attempted to know myself. Inform me, my Father, of all I need to know, if anything, to enact your will, to align with the love that you are, to bring your radiant compassion and power of transformation into this world. I surrender to you, beloved one. Amen. And so, beloved friends, for now, we bid you farewell. We open our heart and focus the presence of our consciousness into this moment with you, that we might share the blessing of our Father through us unto your being. Peace then be unto you always, if you so choose it to be. Amen.